welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network. Jeffrey Mosher is sitting in for Chris Holman on the road, recording remotely as we all are tended to do so these days. And this time around, reaching out to Petoskey, Michigan, Upper Lower Minton, and Andy Hayes, President NLEA. That's the Northern Lakes Economic Alliance. Andy, welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
Doing quite well. How have you been?
Good. I mean, you can tell by the background, I'm still working remotely like our entire team is, and you are, and everybody, well, not everybody, but most people are doing nowadays. So, doing good.
Indeed. And you were one of the interviews that the Michigan Business Beat had in what is now the early days. At that point, we felt like it was a long period into it, but that was the early days of the COVID-19 era. So how have things been for NLEA during and navigating COVID era?
Well, I'll tell you, and you've heard me talk about this for years. The NLEA is this vast array of partnerships and collaborative organizations, and it's all teamwork. And I tell you, nothing has been more evident of the strength of that team since March 15th. And by team, I mean not only our own NLEA crew, and there's 6 of us, and they're all working remotely. No one has missed a beat. It's just really, we're pretty geared up to work remotely anyway. However, we've got 19 different partner organizations that we meet with regularly, work with regularly. I mean, we were doing, up until a couple of weeks ago, every Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock, we met with 19 different chambers of commerce, DDAs, Main Street programs, the EDCs, all the counties, and just to work through all the various issues from the early stages of what the heck's going on, to how do you interpret the executive orders, to where do you find PPE, to reopening, to this and that, and everything else. And so, that has just transferred right through to funding opportunities and grants and, money for businesses and all those kinds of things. And so the strength of that partnership, what we've cultivated for 30 years actually works. It's always worked, but it really, it's very gratifying to see that, the impact that we've all as an area been able to do because we partner, we play well together, and that's really been good. So.
Perfect. And funding and grants that you were bringing up there and alluding to, who in the Upper Minton was the organization responsible for distributing funds of MEDC's Small Business Restart Program?
Yeah, there were, as you, I think even past interviews have talked about this, there were 15 different regional groups. And so in our area, we're very active in our region, and we have a leg in 2 regions. We have a leg in Region 2, which is Northwest Lower Michigan, and we have a leg in Region 3, which is Northeast Lower Michigan. And so in both of those areas, the regional host for the funds in the east side was Target Alpena in Alpena. And so in our case, we're a sub-region. We're covering Cheboygan County, so we were taking care of the Cheboygan County stuff there. Had about $800,000 to distribute. And then on the west side, it's Networks Northwest, and they had 10 counties. And so we're coordinating the sub-region of Emmett, Charlevoix, and Antrim counties, and have another 1.2 million. So we've got about $2 million that we're assisting businesses with in our sub-region of those bigger regions.
Perfect. And that flows into the ways that NLEA is assisting a restart in Michigan.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, when you get right boots on the ground, you realize what the real need is, in the small businesses and all that. And even though it's a wonderful program, the funding is 10 times what it was the first time around, and it's significant dollars, and we'll be able to help a lot of companies. I'll just give you an example. Just in our sub-region, we'll be working with 518 applications that value at almost $9 million for a $2 million pot. So there's a lot of need out there. We will be able to help a lot of companies, and thank you to the MEDC, our partners, Networks Northwest and Target Alpena for the heavy lifting that they're doing. All the local organizations are promoting the heck out of this thing. And so one interesting thing in just the last 30 seconds or so, one of the criteria is that 30% of the applicants have to be women, minority, or veteran owned. And so we were really promoting that aspect of it. And it actually isn't a surprise, but it was kind of a surprise. Of all of those 518 applications I mentioned, 52% of them are minority, women, or business or veteran owned.
Perfect. Well, as we wrap this up, and we'll try to get you together with Chris, of course, before the end of the year, but your announcement of plans to retire was fresh off the press last time we spoke. And now, how has that succession plan and finding your replacement been going?
They interviewed 3 finalists yesterday, actually. And so I would expect in the next couple of weeks an announcement and to have that person on board September-ish, mid-September. And then we'll transition through the end of the year.
Perfect. All right. Well, Andy, thank you so much for spending some time with the Michigan Business Beat today.
Thank you. Have a super day.
Excellent. Once again, Andy Hayes is president of NLEA, the Northern Lakes Economic Alliance, Petoskey, Michigan, serving the upper part of the Michigan's Mitten, the Lower Peninsula. We'll be back with more on the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network.